I've seen a grown woman, as a matter of fact, an overgrown woman, screaming about her hole. Nia Jax's hole has become the most entertaining thing on WWE television. I'm in a good mood this morning.
Well, since you opened the door, or opened the hole, depending on how you want to look at it.
Was it the back door or the front door, Brian?
You know, a few years back in TNA, I believe it was still TNA, it wasn't just Impact yet, and it certainly wasn't Global Force at that time. There was a match, Shelly Martinez versus Reba, or Rebel as she was then known.
I remember this.
Where Shelly Martinez...
I wasn't there, but I saw it.
And you heard it, because in the middle of the match, Shelly Martinez starts yelling out, "My vag! My vag!" Which, you know, Moolah never did that. At least not in the ring.
I think what had happened was the other young lady, who was Shelly? Reba.
Rebel,
Reba.
yeah.
Yeah, Reba. Had grabbed her tights by the elastic tights or the spandex tights or whatever, by one of the leggings or something, and had given her the old atomic wedgie there in the wrong place. Dundee did that to Miss Linda one night in Memphis. Not on purpose. But no, it was me and Adrian Street and Miss Linda in a 3-on-1 handicap lumberjack match with Bill Dundee, same one that he threw me out of the ring, and I got 20-something stitches in my fucking cheekbone. And the idea was the lumberjacks had belts, and if you took a bump out, they're going to whip you. But the lumberjacks are Stan Lane, Steve Kerr, and the Fabulous Ones, Jerry Lawler and Terry Taylor. So there's all baby faces. They're going to whip the shit out of us and treat Dundee like he's, wrapped in bubble wrap, right? And at one point, Linda rolls out, and they start, they're taking it easy on Linda, but they're fucking with me and Adrian. But they're whipping her legs and everything, and she tried to roll back in, and she got kind of hung on the apron, and Dundee reached over like he was going to pull her in and grabbed her. She was wearing a full bathing suit apparatus type of thing like Moolah used to wear, right? But as he grabbed the seam of it some kind of way, it just went right up there. And the whole front row was looking at a hustler centerfold spread of Linda. And I didn't see this. My attention was elsewhere as we were running around trying not to get shit whipped out of us. So was Adrian's. And I run back to the apron in our corner, and Linda's down, and she's got her face covered. And she's like taking quick breath. I think she's crying. Maybe she's been potatoed in the face. I'm like, Linda, what's wrong? And she's covered up because she's fucking laughing. She said, "I just flushed the whole front row." But sometimes these things happen with your holes. Where were we going with that?
We were going to the big hole herself, Nia Jax. So apparently on Monday Night Raw, the day before we are recording this, on our new schedule for this week at least, for the Drive-Thru, Lana and Nia Jax, the feud that just won't stop, continued in a match on Monday Night Raw. And during this match, and this clip has gone viral, and we've received countless, maybe too many questions, wanting your opinions on this brief moment in wrestling history, Nia Jax fell onto the apron ass first, and then said, "My butt," and then said, "My hole." Any thoughts or comments? Did you see this?
Well, yeah, not only did I see that particular incident, but I saw several minutes of this contest. I assumed the majority of it. I don't think they didn't go like 45 minutes or an hour on this one, did they? But every now and then
they went 2 out of 3 holes.
Oh God. Wait a minute. Hold on here.
Oh, thank you. Oh, what an honor.
Every time I sigh, people know it's coming. But so they did this whole long program between these two young ladies with Nia Jax repeatedly, continuously, baby, over and over again, as in more than once, on a weekly basis, if you will, put Lana through a fucking table, right? This is what they were doing. Somebody said at one time it was up to a count of like 7 or 8 tables that Jax had put Lana through. Am I correct on this?
I think it was at least that. It may have been even more than that, but it was every single week for a while. And we weren't watching, so we didn't believe it. Someone said, Nia Jax has put Lana through a table 8 weeks in a row. And we said, how is that possible?
And then somebody...
And of course it's possible because her husband left to go work for the competition, so they had to punish her.
Yeah. And somebody tweeted out like a compilation video of crunch, 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 crunch. Anyway, okay, point is, this is apparently the match where she finally gets her revenge. And immediately after she wins this match, is everybody talking about Lana? No, everybody's talking about Nia Jax's asshole. And it was and it's a joke, and it's a meme. And Lana could have been fucking Lana Turner or, Cheetah the Wonder Chimp. She was just an afterthought in this because everybody's talking about Nia Jax's asshole. And when you go back and you watch the match, the way they built into it, this fucking giant behemoth, as Vince McMahon used to say, this giant behemoth, Nia Jax, hits these one-armed giant choke power slams on little old Lana. Boom, looked like it killed her and probably did rearrange her intestine, made her liver quiver and her spleen turn green. And then immediately she goes to give her another one, and Lana just comes back. Boom, 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 boom. Bing, bing, bing. They take the most awkward, I got to use quotation marks. Can you see my air quotation marks, Brian? Bump over the top I've ever seen. She goes to give her the goddamn power bomb again, and she on her head and staggers her, and she looks like she's going to power bomb Lana over the top rope onto the table, but instead Lana goes upside down, and I was waiting for her to lose her and Lana to really go upside down, but she held on to her, and then Nia Jax throws one of those goddamn giant elephantitis-like legs over the top rope so that, because there's no way that Lana's weight or lack of momentum at that point, or any way she's going to get her over this top rope. So Jax literally has to crawl over the top rope herself, right? And rolls over onto the apron, and then they tease that she's going to go through the goddamn table or whatever, but she doesn't. And then I will say this for the record. Now that I've seen enough of this, because I've defended her one time when everybody was on Nia Jax for Potato and Some Girl, and I said, well, she walked into it, turn around and shit. It ain't ballet. Things happen. But at this point, Nia Jax makes Ox Baker look like Ray Stevens. She's practically immobile. And so she misses the leg drop on Lana on the apron. Boom. And rolls off and gets mad and turns the table over and sells her ass and screams about her hole. And Lana's supposed to roll out and shove Nia Jax through the table it's leaning up against the barricade at ringside to win the tables match and get her revenge. And she shoves Nia Jax into the table, and she just stumbles and goes so low. She didn't break the table. You caught that, right? She just jammed the table up against the fucking barricade and collapsed the legs and was leaning. And because she's 392 pounds, she just wedged it up there and it was standing up straight, but the table didn't even break. And ding, 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 and they just shot away from it, and Lana wins. And so her win was completely negated to begin with. The spot was blown. Nobody remembers it anyway because everybody's talking about Nia Jax's hole. So poor old Lana got fucked again. She might as well have taken another one through the table. At least she can break them. I couldn't believe that.
Nia Jax may be the worst. I shouldn't say that. Big Swole is active. In the WWE, Nia Jax may be the single worst women's wrestler because she doesn't really add much. And like you said, it's not just one time or twice or three times. She has potatoed or just hurt girls multiple times.
Well,
and it doesn't seem like it's stopping.
No, the thing is, it's a bad comment when you're that big. If she could move, it would be one thing, but there's no movement there, and it doesn't appear that she can often control in which direction she's moving, or the speed of same, or the fucking impact upon landing. So I don't know, but can they get some merchandising out of this, you think?
My Hole? You think WWE is going to do My Hole merchandising?
Well, no, Mick Foley tweeted about it. This could be the next Austin 316. Nia Jax, oh my hole.
I thought it was bad when Kurt Angle came out and everyone chanted, "You suck." She's going to come out, "My hole."
My hole. No, wait. They'd be going, your hole, your hole, your hole, your hole. Dun, 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 dun.
By the way, I got to say, Shelly Martinez certainly yelled "my vag" with more urgency.
Well, I think your vag was really hurt, whereas Nia Jax was just working, as she normally does, a day late and a dollar short, and with a lack of emotion. My hole. Shelly's vag was all fucking, boy, I tell you what. I had to put a bandage on it myself. No, I wasn't even there. It was Owen. I'm sure it all worked out fine, though. They had quality medical facilities and physician care down there in TNA at that point in time.
Well, perhaps Nia Jax's hole would feel a little better if she started off the day with a healthy breakfast.
Well, that's a wonderful transition, and I'll just try to separate it somewhat from the rest of the mention of our wonderful sponsor, the fine folks at Magic Spoon. And I'll tell you, have you heard the big news? Have you heard the big news? We've been talking about Magic Spoon, the best cereal in the world. It's healthy. It's not full of sugar and junk that you shouldn't eat. If you're holed up in the house, staying away from the COVID, you might be packing on the pounds. You want a snack? You want something to eat that's healthy? You want a good breakfast? All these type of things are involved with Magic Spoon, and they've released a brand new variety pack now featuring peanut butter. Peanut butter was out as a limited edition last year, sold out 3 times. Sounds like one of my action figures. Well, now they got so much love for the peanut butter, they've made it permanent, and they've added it to the variety pack, which includes frosted, fruity, and cocoa. 0 sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, 140 calories a serving. Keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, GMO-free. I've still not even figured out what GMO is yet, but I know it probably tastes like dog shit. But this stuff is great. You can snack on it around and if you mix the cocoa, Brian, with the peanut butter, then you've got a healthy Reese cup. I'm just telling you. Anyway, super nutritious, super healthy, but it tastes like the good shit with all the sugar and messy stuff. Especially for us older folks, we need to make sure we take care of our septic tanks. Go to magicspoon.com/Jim. Grab a variety pack and try it today and use the promo code JIM at checkout. Save $5 off your order. And, of course, they got the happiness guarantee. If you don't like it, they'll refund your money and give you no bullshit about it. magicspoon.com/Jim. Use the code JIM, $5 off of the variety pack now featuring peanut butter.
Okay, well, your voice kind of cracked there a little bit.
That's because I was thinking about the peanut butter.